Hi everybody, my name is Petito. I'm a Houston-based guitar player, member of the Houston Jazz Orchestra, as well as many other groups in town. I also teach guitar and rhythm section class at HSPVA, and I'm going to offer you some tips and tricks for the 3 jazz guitar all-state etudes this year. So the second etude is a jazz ballad based on the changes to What's New, and there's some great recordings of this tune, Wes Montgomery being the first one, another one Dexter Gordon, great saxophone player. You could also hear a great vocal version of this tune by Billie Holiday, among many others. So like the first etude, definitely listen to the actual recording of what this tune is based off of, just to get the sound in your ear. And it's always best to to do that no matter what, and then start working on the music. That said, this one is kind of divided into 4 ideas. The first 8 measures being to play the melody in octaves. Now, this was written kind of like a lead sheet, like in a real book or something like that. So on the guitar, you have to play everything up an octave from where it's actually written. That's the way the guitar transposes. So when you see the first note is E, it's written down here or here, you're actually thinking of this E. You want to play this E. So playing it in octaves, right? So read everything, the whole thing up an octave. So the first 8 measures you play in octaves, kind of in the Wes Montgomery style, right? The second 8 measures you want to play in block chords, kind of verbatim the way it's written. Think Joe Pass or something like that. Over the bridge, kind of like the first etudes, you can solo or comp, or a combination of both, which is kind of my preference personally. I'd like to hear people do that. And then the last 8 measures is kind of the same as the second 8 measures, where you're playing in block chords, you're harmonizing, but you can play a little more freely, a little bit more interpretation. Don't feel like you need to hit every rhythm exactly as written. It's a ballad, so you can, take some liberties, maybe even add something or use some different chords than you did in the second 8 measures. And the idea of that is, when you're playing the head of a ballad or any tune really, you want to divide it into sections just so it's interesting, so it's not the same exact texture throughout the entire head. So that's kind of what this etude is addressing in that way. If you're not comfortable playing full block chords over all of these, with the entire melody on either the second or last 8 measures, just do as much as you can. Really, the target notes. Try to hit the first beat of each chord. Try to harmonize that note, and don't worry about all the ones in the middle, right? So like, for instance, on like the second 8 measures, so I just harmonized the first beat, the C major, with the E on top, and then I played the other notes individually, and then I did that one. So if that's as comfortable as you want to do, that's fine. Or try to go harmonize each note of the melody, which is another process altogether. And kind of like the first one, you either want to strum each chord or play picking fingers. Don't do with the thumb the way a lot of people, like I said in the first etude, like to do. Really commit to getting a nice full sound with the picking fingers or strumming. It's just it cuts through better with the rhythm section especially. So once again, read everything up an octave, harmonize as much as you can. Don't feel like you have to do every note if you don't think you're going to be able to. Do as much as you can. Stick with the first, like I said, the first beat, or each target chord, the note of that particular chord when it changes. Try to get that note. And just one last thing, if you've never harmonized a ballad before, harmonized a melody of any kind, just remember that the top note should be the melody note. So whatever note you have written on the etude, right, that needs to be the top note of the chord that you're playing, the highest pitched note, right? So try to find some voicings that work and that are interesting, and like I said, do the best you can, but make sure that you're reading it up an octave, and make sure that the melody is the highest note in the chords that you're playing. Good luck on working all 3 of these. Take your time. Once again, step by step. Go nice and slow. You got all summer to work on it. Hope everyone does a great job, and good luck on the All-State competition.